So you say, Jarvis, what about the SWOT? Say more about that. Well, recall around how critical it is to have a personal assessment. The hardest habit to improve is the one you don't know you have. The purpose of a personal SWOT, as I recall, it really brings about some things to light that I didn't know happened. When chances are, when you went over that DISC report, you saw some strengths, some things that you can really draw on. So often we jump straight to weaknesses. I'm going to encourage you, utilize those strengths. Build upon those strengths. Don't be so busy to look beyond those and realize, guess what? It's much easier for me to go in a direction that I'm already going. Remember we said it's much easier to steer a moving car? So it is in this same situation. Here it is, your strengths. Know what they are. And if you don't recall anything out of the report, ask yourself, what are some things that people have often told me about myself that really are strengths? And draw on those. And keep that in mind at all times. You know what? It's critical that we also look at our weaknesses. I know you're saying you don't really like to look at those. At the end of the day, though, let's realize as we reflect on those strengths, any strength taken to an extreme becomes a weakness. So we want to make sure we don't build so much on our strength that it becomes a weakness, something that gets in the way. Weaknesses sometimes can be those blind spots. So I'm going to encourage you to surround yourself by some individuals that will be very candid with you. You know, those people that you don't really like to hear what they have to say, but you know you need to hear it. Surround yourself by those people. Allow those weaknesses to come forth. Face them. We said in the workshop, when I move from what I don't know, to knowing what I don't know, that's growth. Don't forget that. At the same time, let's not lose sight of those opportunities. Opportunities, you say. Jarvis, say more about that. Why is opportunity so important? Maintain an inquisitive attitude. Always wonder, what if? What's next? What are some opportunities out there? Knowing what I know about my strengths, having been enlightened around some weaknesses, what are some opportunities out there that I didn't even know exist? Always strive to reach for those blind spots and work through them. And realize too, which direction is this organization headed? What opportunities out of my strengths might parallel and be in line with that? And as you can identify that, guess what? You bring more value to yourself and you bring more value to the organization. What about threats? Well, you know, the thing about threats oftentimes is they also relate to fears. We said fears. False expectations appear real. These threats we need to look at because at the same time, the fear gets in the way, the strengths are now marginalized, and the weaknesses come to the forefront. Remember your personal SWOT. What are your strengths? Build upon them. Remember your weaknesses. Surround yourself by people that will enlighten you and tell you the things you don't want to hear. Remember those opportunities. Always stay open to being inquisitive. And yes, whether you want to or not, be mindful of those threats because those threats can get in the way of you being the best that you can be. That's what comes to my mind when you ask me to say